I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili saved by Gen Z.
This is a hot dog is a sandwich.
Ketchup is a smoothie.
Yeah, I put ice in my cereal, so what?
That makes no sense.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
Welcome to our podcast, A Hot Dog is a Sandwich, the show we break down the world's biggest food debates. I'm your host, Josh Scher, and today Nicole is out. She is out with load management. We're saving her ankles for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we do have a very special guest joining us for the pod. You know him as the cheeky baker boy from Mythical Kitchen, the chaos goblin at Smosh, and the co-host of Yap Time with his fiancee Raven. But me, well, I call him a close personal friend. Trevor Everts, welcome to the show.
Hi, Josh. It's good to be here. It's been so long.
It really has. Do you remember the last thing we talked about in this podcast?
I feel like goldfish might have been involved.
It was.
In what way?
I don't remember because I thought it was the thing about chocolate chip cookies, but no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It's goldfish versus Cheez-Its.
Was I on for that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember I was passionate about that, but I couldn't remember if I was passionate as a bystander or in the action.
So you do listen to the podcast?
I do.
That really
I listen. I don't know the last time I listened to a full episode,
Yeah, I
but
get that.
I also don't know the last time I watched a full episode of anything.
That's a fair point.
I'm usually like get like 15 minutes in, and then I got to do something, and it's usually not like I do that with not to be a hater, but I do that with Last Meals a lot. I'll watch like the first like 2/3 of a Last Meals, and then something's going on, and I'm really bad about finishing YouTube videos.
The last 1/3 is when we get really emotionally vulnerable, though.
Yeah.
That's where Joe Jonas starts talking about, oh, love is never lost, it's still, stuff like that. So I'd recommend starting with the last third, then going back to the first 2/3.
Well, Raven always finishes them. Raven's the video finisher. Usually it's like there's like 50 and I'm like, oh, I need to go like do the dishes, or I gotta go run an errand, or maybe I'm going to work or something.
Nice.
So
Sharing domestic labor. That's what this podcast is about today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We talked about goldfish last time. Nostalgia is a big factor in that. Nostalgia is a big factor in the thing we're talking about today, because we wanted to have you on specifically as our Gen Z correspondent.
Yes, I'm here once again.
Because we're talking about how Gen Z saved Chili's. So just a little bit of background here. In the last couple of years alone, Red Lobster, Buca de Beppo, Hooters, and Fridays, all American institutions have all filed for bankruptcy, and a majority of their customer base are Gen X and Boomers.
Yeah.
Gen Z only represents 17% of the casual dining fan base. However, there's one chain that they have decided to patronize and completely revamp. Sales up 50% over the last 3 years, and it's freaking Chili's. Trevor, can you explain why?
Here's the thing about Chili's. I think that nostalgia is probably a large part of it. I
have nostalgia for Hooters. My dad used to take me there, and then looking back, probably said some inappropriate things to the people just trying to work.
Yeah, well, you should have, and Kevin Love, who's the NBA player that really loves Hooters?
I can't remember.
There's
Kevin Love, that seems out of character for him.
I don't know. There's some NBA player that's like was obsessed with Hooters. It was like a big thing when it was like going out of business. They were like, we need to save.
It is Kevin Love.
It's Kevin Love. He loves Hooters. I think that Gen Z has kind of pulled back from, because I was thinking about this, and I think that in like kind of the mid 2010s, you've got a lot of millennials, and there's kind of like this foodie revolution happening.
Yeah.
Where everybody has iPhones now, everybody wants to be snapping pictures, and for me, I was a big Red Robin guy, but like you don't want to snap a picture of the Chili's Southwest egg rolls or the Red Robin 5 Alarm burger, like that's not going up on your Instagram. Yeah, I don't know. And I think Gen Z has kind of like come around like almost full circle to like, no, like Chili's is an awesome restaurant. It's just fun in there. They've got incredible deals where like it's like the like pick 3 stuff. It's like 3 for $15 or whatever. You get to try 3 different dishes for a pretty reasonable price. And it always comes with crazy chips and sauce. I get Chili's to go fairly regularly. Not like super regularly, but...
What do you get when you get Chili's to go? Because the idea of getting Chili's to go, to me, I would view that as like insane, right?
Yeah.
I would rather get food that is meant to be eaten in a to-go setting. But I guess now every restaurant is kind of just another app on your phone, right? That you can order for delivery. So they're kind of on the same playing field.
Yeah. And I think when the pandemic hit, it was like all the restaurants had to adapt. Like, we got to figure out how to, get people food without them being inside the restaurant.
We got to get people Honey Zinger Chipotle Chicken Crispers.
Dude, the chicken crispers, man. They're so good. But no, Chili's has, I can't remember exactly what the deal is, but yeah, it's like a pick three.
Oh, the Triple Dipper Combo?
The Triple Dipper Combo?
The Triple Dipper Combo now accounts for 14% of all Chili's sales.
Yeah.
And that is the big item that was picked up by your people.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You get some sort of combination. You can get their big bite sliders. Mm-hmm. You can get their Southwestern egg rolls.
Yeah.
You can get various types of bone-in and bone-out wings. You can get the chicken crispers.
Yeah, the chicken crispers. This is no joke, man.
They're no
delicious.
joke. I went to, before I even knew that Chili's was really having a resurgence, like before I actually saw the hardcore numbers, which are like utterly insane, just Q4 of last year, it's up 31% from just the year before.
Oh my God.
Which at that scale is like tens, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. But me and Julia, for Valentine's Day, we were like, the year before, we went to Anajac Thai.
Yeah.
One of the best, buzziest restaurants.
Incredible.
In LA. They do really great work. We went there like with another couple friend, and we had a nice time. But this Valentine's Day, we're like, we don't want to like brave the crowds. We don't want to do anything crazy. We don't want to do anything fancy. We want to do something kind of dumb. Yeah. And I think the irony is a little bit part of the Gen Z pull as well.
Yeah.
Because me and Julia, I got dressed up in like black tie up top, but then snakeskin loafers and bright pink trousers underneath.
That's awesome.
And then we just went on a bar crawl.
Yeah.
On our neighborhood towards the direction of Chili's, then ended up at Chili's at 9:30 p.m. drinking Cadillac margaritas, eating a Triple Dipper Combo. They got something called Nashville Hot Mozzarella.
Wow. That's awesome. I haven't tried the Nashville Hot Mozzarella.
They deep fry the cheese, Trevor, and then they submerge it in spicy grease.
That sounds incredible.
Especially on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. That's beautiful. No, I mean, I think that like Gen Z also, I mean, I was growing up in, that like kind of early 2000s era, back when the restaurants like Chili's and Red Robin, they had just everything on the walls. Like that was the design style. They had just like everything. There was so much going on, and it was such a happy place to be. And I think, now growing up and we're kind of like adults, and there's almost this like realization that I had at some point where I'm like, I'm an adult and I can really do whatever I want. Like I think that there was maybe a little bit of like, is it weird for me to just order Chili's to go? Like, should I be ashamed of that? And then I'm like, no, I don't need to be ashamed of ordering Chili's to go because it makes me happy. And I like the way the food tastes. Sue me. Like, I totally, like, there's so much incredible food, like Anajac Thai. Like, they do amazing work, and that is food on another level, and I appreciate that so much. But I also appreciate the Chili's chicken crispers. And I think that that's okay. I think it's okay to appreciate food at all levels.
You know what's really funny? Is I do have an intense amount of shame of patronizing Chili's. And I think for like the time difference in when you and I grew up. Because like you said, I grew up like Instagram came out when I was 20, 21 years old. And like, not that every meal you eat is something you think about posting to the gram, but every meal I would eat, I kind of ran it through a filter of what does this communicate about me?
Yeah.
And I grew up in that like very Anthony Bourdain era where it was like, I got to go patronize the local mom and pop pho shop, or I have to like travel far away to try this dish that I've never had before. And so for me, Chili's was purely like, it was the restaurant chain of the generation before me.
Yeah.
So I rebelled against it, right? I was like, no, man, it's owned by corporations and that's bad. I want to patronize real culture. And then I think now Gen Z looks at like millennials who thought we can save the world by eating at local Thai food restaurants and believing in the corporations that we work for that are mission oriented. And you look at our generation, you go like, well, that didn't work, you dummy.
Yeah.
Everything's still terrible. Might as well relive the nostalgia
Yeah.
at a Chili's. There's a marketing professor from the University of Denver named Anna Babich Rosario who coined this term emotional time travel. Because these chains have, stayed roughly the same for the last like 20, 25 years. And so now like Gen Z going back to these chains, the Rainforest Cafe is a great example, right? Where like you go back there and you are immediately transported, frankly, to a simpler time. It's the same psychology of why you're wearing the baggy ass jeans these days.
Yeah. No, it is. And I mean, you're right. The food tastes exactly the same. I went to a Red Robin recently for the first time in a while. And I remember eating the food and I was like, this hasn't changed. They're like bottomless garlic steak fries, just the same as when I was in high school going there with my friends after, a theater production. We'd have our show and then we'd roll up because there's always tables. There's always room. You never had to wait for anything. You never had to have a reservation. You could just pull up and be like, hey, there's 15 of us. Can we get a table? And they're like, come on in. Have a giant milkshake with an extra entire cup of milkshake on the side. It's just like, I don't know. There's something so amazing about it. And I think having that food now, I still love it. And I also really love supporting and going to local mom and pop shops. And I've had some of the best food I've ever had at little holes in the wall. But I think that there's room for everyone at the table, There's room for Chili's at my table.
The thing that I worry about with your generation, Trevor, is that you're going to irony our way into just a complete corporate megalopoly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, Chili, John, you were in a Caterpillar shirt yesterday. Caterpillar, big major brands, wear the Modelo hat, go to Chili's, ironically. And then suddenly we look 10, 15 years in the future. And the only restaurants that are able to survive are the ones that can afford these massive big budget advertising deals that also bring in the TikTok ass influencers.
Yeah, I don't know that I think to blame that on us is a little bit unfair. I think that I don't know, feels mean. I do think though, I mean, like in the pandemic, the restaurants that were able to squeak by and survive were those mega corporation restaurants because they had the infrastructure to be like, okay, we're going to figure out how to pump out chicken crispers and a dessert and an appetizer and a bag of chips this big with 2 cups of salsa for $15. I mean,
and they don't have to be profitable is the other thing. They were all taking massive losses that if you were a mom and pop restaurant, you just didn't get to eat if you weren't making a profit in your restaurant. If you're a corporation, you can eat the loss and then continue trucking and frankly just outlast everybody else. It's like having a big stack in poker. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, no.
You can just outlast everybody losing money on the blinds.
Yeah. You can just keep folding until, you hit your pocket rockets. I mean, even talking to Raven, my fiance, she was telling me that in the pandemic, she was living with her mom and the two of them, they would do that all the time. They would go pick up Chili's because it was relatively affordable and it was a good amount of food for what it was. And it was just easy. It was something that you could do. And I don't know. I think that that definitely helped kind of the resurgence of Chili's.
This all explains why these casual chain restaurants would be popular, but it doesn't quite explain why Chili's over Applebees, right? Chili's and Applebees are, it's going to be offensive to some, they're the same restaurant. One just gives you salsa. Yeah. You know what I mean? So why Chili's specifically? And they did hire a new CEO named Kevin Hochman who has done an incredible job. And I've heard him talk about why, but I don't know. Is there some specific thing about Chili's? One of my theories was always that The Office is kind of the Chili's of restaurants in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
It's a big network sitcom that had another big resurgence during the pandemic. Yeah. You know what I mean? That people go to for comfort because they know exactly what they're getting and it's a great product. And I love The Office. I think it's one of the greatest shows ever. Yeah. I felt God. What is it? I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
How much did that play into it?
I think probably quite a bit. I mean, I think that when I think about those, that genre of restaurant, like your Chili's, your Applebee's, your Red Robin, those kinds of places, I think that Chili's maybe just from a marketing standpoint, I don't even know if it was intentional. It literally, I think that in the era of the internet and especially with Gen Z, it could have just been a stroke of good luck that people started things about Gen Z kids going back to Chili's, just those went viral. Yeah. I don't know.
It could have been Applebee's in an alternate world.
Yeah.
For no reason other than, one person decided, hey, wouldn't it be funny if? Yeah. And then the trickle down effect.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, I know I've been to Applebee's ironically as well. I have been to these places where I'm oh, wouldn't it be hysterical? What if we went to Applebee's? We're looking for a restaurant. What if we went to Applebee's? What if we went to Chili's? But yeah, I think maybe Chili's just managed to come out at the top of that and be the most recognizable brand. I think in my head, Applebee's is maybe just a step below. I don't want to call it trashier than Chili's, but it is like in my head like a step below maybe. I don't know. There's some class to Chili's.
I feel like that wasn't the case though, but when I went on Valentine's Day, 1 hour and a half wait, joined an online waiting list,
Oh my God.
got drunk at the weird wine bar that has like the window that is just like directly on a major street. So you can just sit at a window and drink wine while cars just buzz past you. Went and drank there, ended up at the Chili's. Every single employee there was like so hyped on Chili's.
Yeah.
They were just so engaged. They were so like happy. They sat us initially at like a little booth and we're like, hey, can we go to the bar? I feel like that's where the action is. And they were like, hell yeah, it is, brother. Come with us. And then the bartender was super hyped. I was trying to buy him shots, and he's like, no, I can't. I'm at work, but like I can duck under the table, you know? And then I bought Mexican candy shots, which are like watermelon schnapps and like tajin.
Wow.
For the bar. And we just had a great time. All the food came out. It was like hot and fresh and like not just well seasoned, hyper seasoned to the point where you really needed to drink more Mexican candy shots.
Yeah.
And those had salt in them too. So then you needed to drink a Cadillac margarita, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Chili's has taken so many painstaking efforts to like revamp this corporate culture in ways that, I don't know, maybe just takes good leadership.
Yeah.
You know? Because like I feel like that's a rare thing where you walk into a chain restaurant and you get anybody that gives a shit. And this is like my old head coming out.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, the kids don't want to work these days. Why can't I find someone in CVS to help me get deodorant? You know? But it like felt weirdly good.
Yeah.
Inside Chili's.
No, it is. It's an awesome vibe. And again, it could just be, that someone up top just did a better job at marketing and getting people back in the restaurants. The vibes inside, the last time I was like inside of Chili's, it was great. It was great. It is. And the food, you're right. It always comes out hot. Maybe it's like the food version of like TikTok and how like our brains are like so wired on like need to be fast. Like I need to have very salty, like super hyper seasoned food and insane drinks that are coming out like for no reason. Like I've got my blackberry, blueberry, strawberry, raspberry lemonade twist. Like nobody needs that many fruits in a lemonade, but it's awesome, and it's got crazy colors in it, and I love it.
It's like just complete unfettered excess as we're like hurtling into an economic recession. And we're just like, let's remember these times.
Yeah.
You know?
And it isn't, I mean, you know, everything obviously has gotten more expensive, but again, like compared to going to other like fancier, nicer like restaurants, I mean, it is like, you know, on the cheaper side.
Not even fancy or nicer restaurants. I think actually one of the biggest reasons why Chili's is succeeding, and even over Applebee's and Red Lobster, all that, is because the rise in prices of fast food. And there's actually a video of CEO Kevin Hochman talking about this. McDonald's has risen its prices 100% over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
That's
so
insane.
Chili's launched a whole marketing campaign where they had people like send them like their fast food receipts and tweet it. And Chili's like sent them coupons.
Oh my God.
And then Chili's, I think, God, they even like took over a fast food space. They did these like big viral activations.
Yeah.
Where they were like, hey, you can get this small crappy burger, you know, for what's now like $12 for like, you know, a combo. Or you can come to Chili's and for $12 get the same thing that's a lot bigger. You can sit down. You're treated like a human. And that like really worked.
Yeah, refillable Diet Coke, bottomless Diet Coke. Oh my God.
Bro.
That's one thing I miss. Like, yeah, but just because I don't honestly sit down and eat in a ton of restaurants, but there's something specifically about like going to a Chili's, and that Chili's Diet Coke hits harder for some reason. It hits harder coming out of that
The syrup's
like
kind of floating on the top.
Yeah, it's in that like little plastic kind of cover, or like a glass that's like got so much condensation that you're like, it doesn't seem like it's possible for this glass to have this much condensation. There's like a whole puddle on the table.
Dude, that Chili's Diet Coke puddle that ends up on the table, you can kind of slide the glass around like an air pocky huck.
Yeah, no, it's air pocky huck. Did you just say that?
I heard that come out of my mouth, and I was like, maybe he'll just move on. You know?
I almost did, because I think in my brain just switched the sounds, and I was like, yeah, an air pocky huck.
You ever go to FuddRuckers?
Dude, FuddRuckers, oh my gosh, that's a classic. That's a restaurant that like if
Surely they filed for bankruptcy, right? There's no way FuddRuckers is.
I think they're gone.
I think they're gone.
But I was gonna say, if there's a restaurant that I wish could come back, it would be FuddRuckers. That was a whole different experience.
hold on. Yeah, oh god, 2010. Magic Brands, their parent company, filed for Chapter 11. Oh, but check this out. Wait. This is crazy. Okay, so in 2010, FuddRuckers' parent brand, Magic Brands LLC, files for bankruptcy. Okay. Eventually, they're acquired by Luby's, which is like another regional chain sit-down restaurant. FuddRuckers was acquired by Nicholas Perkins in 2020, who now owns all 92 locations.
Okay.
It's just like a guy?
It's just like one guy that owns all of the FuddRuckers?
Apparently.
That's awesome. Is there one nearby? There's got to be one in California.
No, I believe Nicholas Perkins, is that a company or is this just a man?
Oh, is it like maybe like a Nicholas Dash Perkins type deal?
Yeah. One person named Nicholas, one person named Perkins. Either way, I feel like owning the world supply of FuddRuckers, nothing bad can happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like owning like all of the like, I don't know. What's one of the not the earliest stage in Monopoly, but like still on the first like side of
Marvin. No, not Marvin Guy. I think one of them is a slur now.
It's like all the green ones. It's like owning all the green ones. I don't know. Where's green on the board? Does it go
red? It's like Baltic.
Yeah, Baltic is like I think that's like the gray.
There's a light blue on the first.
Yeah, there's
board.
a light blue.
Connecticut is one of them. One of them is a slur that we're not allowed to say anymore.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the first one's brown and then light blue. Oh yeah, no, green's way up there. See, like owning all the FuddRuckers is like owning all the light blue spaces on Monopoly. You know?
You're gonna think that it's not gonna win you the game, but then suddenly people keep landing on it.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God, I want to go to a FuddRuckers now. You want to hear something crazy? And maybe, and honestly, this is probably a perfect example of the Gen Z irony that gets us into these places. But the nearest Texas Roadhouse to the region in which we live, Temecula is where the studio is located. The nearest Texas Roadhouse is like a 2-hour drive. And Raven and I one day were like,
north in Bakersfield?
No, it's out. It's east.
Oh, east, yeah.
It's east.
Like Diamond Bar area or like?
Yeah, I think so. Just out
Ontario.
that way. Like past West Covina, like way out there. Like on the way to Palm Springs.
Hell yeah.
And one time Raven and I were just like, what if we just went to Texas Roadhouse? Like those rolls are awesome. And we ended up driving there, ended up being traffic, and we had a 3-hour drive to a Texas Roadhouse. And then there was an 1.5-hour wait at this Texas Roadhouse. And so we just went and we waited what is essentially like 5 hours of time for Texas Roadhouse. And we get in there and we're like, this is awesome. It's like, this is great. We love it. And so I think like that level of irony of just like, yeah, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. Let's drive 3 hours to Texas Roadhouse. Why not? Like that's the kind of attitude that gets you back into Chili's.
It really is. And then it's like a shared experience. It's a story. It's something that everybody has like a reference point for.
Yeah.
I will say though, I feel like my version of that was waiting in line 3 hours for a Corona, right? Or for the most hype Nashville hot chicken spot in LA. Some new pop-up you'd wait in line for. Now I feel like if I told somebody that I waited 3 hours for like some new hype food, they're making Cambodian smash burgers down in Long Beach, somebody would just be like, why didn't you just go to Chili's? You know, I feel like that's the new attitude.
Yeah. And I honestly, I couldn't tell you why. Because I think that it's not that there's not like an appreciation. Like all of my friends like my age that I know, like we love good food and we love like new and experimental things like that. And I don't know, we just really love Chili's also.
There's this, I remember having this experience when I first started writing about food. I was maybe like 24, 25. And I was like in Hawaii. I was actually there on like a press trip, but I ran into this dude who weirdly recognized me just because he was such an LA like foodie hype beast. Mm-hmm. And I'm like sitting there trying to like enjoy my poke on the beach. Mm-hmm. And this dude just keeps going like, yeah, have you been to this spot? And I'd be like, yeah, I think it's really good. He goes, that place is super overrated. It sucks. Have you been to this spot? And I'd be like, yeah, I thought I had a nice time there. Yeah, no, that place that's only like if you like don't know dumplings, like that's where you go. But like if you do know, have you been to the? And he just kept doing this, and I was like, I hate you so much, and I hate even more the fact that I'm sure people look at me in the same light, despite the fact that I would never communicate like that at all.
Yeah.
But I think there is this like rejection against this like foodie chaserism.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think so too. I think the Gen Z, like, I don't know, like cooler, like I'm cooler than you mindset is like, obviously that's going to be targeted at the generation before us. And so because the Gen Xers loved the Hooters, loved the Chili's, loved the Applebees, it's like then the millennials are like, well, no, I don't want that. Like I want the foodie revolution. I want all these beautiful like pop-ups and things. Like I want to have beautiful and delicious food inside my mouth. And now Gen Z's like, you're dorks for that. Like bring me back the Chili's.
We were dorks for that
Yeah.
in like certain ways, right? And especially in the very earnest way of like we thought this was a good move for society, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at something, millennials were responsible for the rise of stuff like Sweet Green and Kava, these chains, which are like, doing really well.
Yeah.
But like there's a genuine moralism to that because it was like they're sourcing from good local farms and all that. And then, nothing actually got better,
Yeah. No,
I think this is Chili's is reflective of Gen Z's nihilism and love for cheesy bricks.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's a really perfect way of putting it. I think we've arrived at the conclusion. I think that Chili's is a beautiful place, and I hope that we can find a happy medium of being able to appreciate really artistic and delicious food that is inspired from really like beautiful places and from people's souls, like people that have like food inside their heart and they're sharing it with the world. Like I want there to be an appreciation for that, and also going to Chili's and having 8 baskets of chips and then still somehow putting down an entire plate of chicken crispers and fries and getting that big skillet cookie afterward. Like I want that to be the world that I live in, where I can do both and feel good about both.
I think a great happy medium would be if these mom and pop shops all made drinks in the same manner of things like Chili's and the Rainforest Cafe. Because I went to a Rainforest Cafe recently and I got their it's like their triple deluxe beer garita. Right? So I'm in Orlando. It's a hot day, and so I'll tell you what
Can I get that in my mug, Maggie?
Well, no, because I'll tell you what needs to happen for a beer garita to even exist is that it's a giant margarita glass. I mean, it's the size of a ramen bowl, right?
Yeah.
Filled with frozen slushy margarita to the brim, but then they've taken a whole Corona and they've turned it upside down to where the beer is still in the Corona.
Yeah.
So as you drink through the alcoholic Slurpee, the Corona sort of gets naturally filtered in.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's blue. Oh, it was blue.
It was blue. And they have the contraption they have the little plastic contraption that sticks to the edge of the glass
Yes.
and holds the beer bottle in there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that someone had to invent that. Someone had to invent to be like, God, we want to put the beer bottles in the margarita glass upside down, but we need a way for them to stick.
For every problem, a solution. If more places had drinks like that, but like in an artisanal way, like it was like a pandan flavored slushy and a nice, craft IPA.
Yeah, a nice craft IPA. But I mean, honestly, I think that's another reason, at least living in Los Angeles for me, is you can go to Chili's and you can get that drink for $8. And then you can go to a very nice restaurant, and if you want a delicious cocktail, it's going to set you back 18 bones.
It is true. Chili's, the CEO, Kevin Hochman, actually calls this the barbell effect, which are they have all of their like $6 drinks, but then for everybody that's ordering a bunch of those, you get schmucks like me who go, I'm gonna ball out of this Chili's right now, and I'm going top shelf on my raspberry razzmatazz margarita because I did that last time.
That's awesome.
Trevor, I think we got some really astute points of view here, but what I want you to do is I want you to build me your ideal triple dipper combo right now. Trevor, as a Gen Z, what is your official triple dipper combo order?
Okay, selection 1. I am going...
God bless you. And so
Excuse
you
me?
can just do that in a Chili's and nobody will bat an eye.
Nobody. Okay, I have got to do... I'm definitely going to start with the Southwestern egg rolls. I'm a big fan of the Southwest egg rolls, so I'm going to have those. I have to do the chicken crispers, and I will say, Chili's, I think we need to work on the Nashville hot chicken crispers. I think of the 3, they're my least favorite. The honey chipotle chicken, though, big fan of.
Yeah.
So I'm dropping the honey chipotle chicken crispers as selection number 2.
Do they still use the phrase like crispy Asian zing?
No, actually, I was talking about Asian Zing recently. That was Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I would go to Buffalo Wild Wings as a kid, and I'd be like, I'll have the popcorn shrimp and the Asian Zing sauce. And I was talking about how insane that is. And it's funny because I don't think they changed it until like a couple years ago. It was Asian Zing for far too long. And then the Big Mouth bites are the sliders, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is I am, depending on the day, I am either going, bone-in sweet chili zing wings.
Sweet chili zing.
Sweet chili zing.
But what continent is that sweet chili from, Trevor?
It's from one of them.
could be any.
Could be any
What
of them.
continent actually has about 80% of the world's population in it, though? I think it's like 68%.
68.
Yeah. So like if you were to guess,
I'm going to go with Asia.
I think that's it.
I think
Yeah,
I'm going to
it's
go.
it. I
I'm
think
going to
it's
take
it.
an educated guess. I'm either doing the Big Mouth bites or the house barbecue wings, I think. But today, right now, I'm going to go Big Mouth bites. And then you know what I'm doing is I'm also getting a dessert with it. And because you got to get the dessert. And so hold on, let me find it, there's so many sections on their menu. That's the best part.
They actually did pare down their menu a fair amount.
Yeah. The
So-
skillet chocolate chip cookie.
That's smart.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about Chili's is they've made a lot of really smart menu subtractions. So we talked about this with Shane Top, but they did change their chicken crispers recipe about 5 years ago. They used to have a tempura chicken crisper and then their extra crispy chicken crisper. That was a dry dredge. Their tempura chicken crispers were accounting for less than 20% of their overall chicken crisper sales, and they were slowing down the line. So chicken crispers were coming to people's tables less hot and less crispy, and so they completely killed the tempura chicken crisper.
And I remember those, and those were good. But I understand. I get it. Sometimes you got to, if it's not working, it's not working.
Cull the herd.
If you're planning a trip this summer, imagine how much more meaningful your experience could be if you could speak the local language. Ordering a coffee, asking for directions, or just having a friendly chat. It all hits different when you can connect in someone else's native tongue. That's where Rosetta Stone comes in. Rosetta Stone has been the trusted leader in language learning for over 30 years. Their immersive, intuitive method helps you naturally absorb and retain your new language on desktop or mobile, whenever and wherever it fits your summer schedule. What really stands out to me is how Rosetta Stone teaches without relying on English translations. You start thinking in the new language, not just translating in your own head. And their true accent technology gives real-time feedback on your pronunciation. It's like having a personal coach right there with you. If you know me, you know I'm always on my phone. So using the interface on my personal device, like my cell phone, was so simple, it made the whole process super, super seamless. Whether you're learning for a trip or just challenging yourself this summer, it actually feels fun and effective. Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. A Hot Dog is a Sandwich listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/hotdog to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/hotdog and start learning today.
All right, Trevor, we've heard what you and I have to say. Now it's time to find out what other wacky opinions are rattling out there in the universe.
Oh, boy.
It's time for a little segment we call Opinions Are Like Casseroles.
I want my opinions like casseroles. I want my opinions like casserole. Opinions are just like casseroles.
Hi, Josh and Nicole. This is Katie from Portland, Oregon. And my opinion casserole is that I think bacon is what people would taste like. Love the podcast. Bye.
Bacon is what people taste like. So I can take this one.
Yeah. No, please go ahead. I have my thoughts. Well, actually, I don't know if I have my thoughts other than I think I disagree, but please.
Yeah. So, having read some reports from people who have eaten people, they don't like the C word, but just people who eat people. They have said human flesh tastes most similar to pork. But also, if you think about, a cow that only eats grass tastes different than a cow that only eats grain. So humans are going to roughly taste like what their diet is, and we happen to eat very, very high sodium diets. So our flesh would likely take on a fair amount of that. So different people would taste different, but I see why you would think bacon. I will say bacon is salted, cured, smoked. So if you took human belly flesh, salted, cured, smoked, it would probably taste almost exactly like bacon, yes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I was going to say, because I feel like there is so much that goes into making bacon taste like bacon. So, if you did that with human flesh, I'm sure you could get there.
Yeah, but it's already a pretty good starting point by nature of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, all right. Easy first one.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh. Hey, Nicole. My opinion is that people don't season their pasta water enough. I know we all do salt and maybe some butter, but like, why aren't more people throwing in some bouillon and garlic and other flavors?
Oh, fascinating.
Just seems nice. Anyway, that's my opinion. Thanks. Bye.
Fascinating. People only salting their pasta water as opposed to actually fully seasoning their pasta water.
Yeah. I'm curious how much of what really translates into the pasta. Because I remember when I was like, oh my God, I had to have been like in 7th grade or something. And I was like, I'm going to cook up some pasta. But all I had was like noodles. And I didn't really have any like sauce or anything. I had like noodles and butter. So I was like, how can I elevate this? And so I went into like the spice cabinet and I was like, what if I just throw like Italian seasoning and like other seasonings inside the pasta water and then cook the noodles inside that? And I mean, it tasted good, but I don't know how much it was actually doing.
Yeah. The Italian seasoning, like herbs and stuff, I don't know how much that would do, but I would think like, well, no, because I feel like it would. I feel like it creates a kind of tea.
Yeah.
And gets inside of it.
It's like a soup. It's like you're making like a soup and then you're cooking noodles in it.
Kind of reduce that down to sauce. I made a recipe for like Trinidadian macaroni pie.
Okay.
Which is it's mac and cheese, but it's just like that kind of like thick, dense, cheesy, bricky mac and cheese, which is fun.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like sliced and kind of eaten by hand. At least that's the origin of it. It was like a factory worker kind of thing. But part of the recipe said cut onions, bell peppers, and scotch bonnet and actually put that in the water with the macaroni. And then you drain all of that. And then you just dump everything that you drained into the cheese sauce and everything.
Okay.
And I swear to God, like all of that onion and bell pepper and scotch bonnet flavor got into the noodles. And that kind of changed how I view cooking pasta. Like you don't always just have to cook it separately.
Really?
So I'm thinking like if I'm making Cajun chicken fettuccine Alfredo, something like that, something probably great at the Chili's.
Yeah.
That they do well.
Yeah. They do. Their Cajun shrimp pasta is good.
I'm boiling that in Tony Sachery's water.
Okay. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna throw some spices, some more stuff in the next pasta water that I boil.
Yeah. A genuinely inspiring opinion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
take a lot to inspire me.
I have 2 opinion casseroles for you today.
All right.
One of them, most people want to send me to jail for, and the other one, most people relatively universally praise.
I want to send them to
by
jail
both
for
of them pretty
racketeering.
firmly. The first one I'll give you is that I think that there should be breakfast pasta, like with
smart.
sausage crumbles and red peppers and like a buttery sauce and then some little noodles. And then the one that people want to send me to prison for is that I think all fruit smoothies would taste much better if they were served hot.
Yeah, hell yes.
I thought for a second, the way he teed that up, I was thinking that the breakfast pasta was the one that people wanted him to go to jail for. I was like, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable thing.
He's with the wrong group of friends if that's what they wanted to send him to jail for.
Yeah. The hot smoothies, however, I think that becomes a different dish at that point, does it not?
I mean, there's some like, smoothie implies cold, sure. But there's some like warm fruit soups out there that exist, And I think this might be a climate issue.
Okay.
Because anytime I'm getting a smoothie, I grew up in Southern California, and generally between like 74 and 100 degrees, I'm going to want a cold fruit smoothie. If this person's, I don't know, in Bemidji, Minnesota, shout out to all my Bemidji heads out there. Maybe he wants a hot fruit smoothie, and I think that should be his right as a Bemidjian.
Yeah. No, I think you're right as well. I what happens to a smoothie actually? Because I don't know that I've ever like let a smoothie. I drink my smoothies when they're cold, and so I don't know what a smoothie actually would look like if it was hot.
Stays thick.
It stays thick.
Stays thick.
Really?
Yeah, because all that blended fruit pulp stays real thick. I've drank like a Jamba Juice that I've left in my car. Just came
Wow.
back and went, well, I'm not letting all these fruit nutrients go to waste.
Interesting. Because in my head, I feel like it would
Bemidji,
separate.
it's like pretty north.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
I
yeah.
might want a hot smoothie if I was there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll leave a Jamba Juice in the car sometime.
I think you should.
Okay.
I think it'd be nice. I feel like there's some health food oriented because there's two kinds of smoothies, right? There's like the Jamba Juice where it's like I want ice cream with some fruit in it, blend it up, and then there's like the cold pressed juice store that sells a smoothie, but it's kind of just like a weird, slightly like warm pallid liquid that has chunks of stuff blended in it, and I don't like those.
Yeah, no, I don't like those either.
I'm there for the ice cream.
Yeah, I've been making some smoothies at home. Yeah,
Nice.
That's nice. It's just like a frozen fruit, a little bit of OJ, a little bit of almond milk, a little bit of yogurt, and boom.
Well,
That's just a nice
5 grams creatine, 50 grams protein.
No, don't have that in there yet.
Oh.
Mostly just the fruit.
Yeah. Breakfast pasta. I would love to make like a baked ziti, but with sausage gravy as the only sauce. You know what I mean? Top that with a
Wow.
poached egg. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think
Yeah.
that'd be really delicious.
We already put. I mean, most of breakfast food is just different sauces on different carbs, and so it's like, why not?
Why not?
Why not do it with pasta? Oh my god, I had a thought in my head and it fluttered away.
Is it about carbonara? Because that already has eggs and bacon.
Well, no, what I was going to say is when we made the Oreo ramen, I would love, because I love sweet breakfast foods. I love a little pancake, a little waffle with syrup. Like, I would love more sweet pastas.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I
I'm
would
in.
love some sweet dessert pastas.
How
So,
about you get to that first?
yeah.
Huh? Your hot smoothies.
Hey, Josh and Nicole.
Hey,
This
they
is
keep
Elizabeth. I'm from
misnaming
the
you.
Cleveland
Yeah.
area.
That's
Growing
okay.
up fairly poor with undiagnosed ADHD,
Hey,
one of
sounds
my
familiar.
best ways to self-medicate was always with M&Ms because it was the only regularly available sugar that I could just sneak and get away with. Because of this, I will put M&Ms on things that it probably doesn't belong on. The light version of this is I'll stick them in a string cheese.
Oh,
which
that's
I do
fun.
light rather than string, and I know that's a problem too. Probably the worst thing is that I will wrap M&Ms in pepperoni because pepperoni was also my favorite fixation food.
Interesting.
This does usually horrify people. I would recommend trying it, though, before you say that it's horrifying. Thanks. This is a great podcast for going to work in the morning.
Hey,
Oh.
appreciate you.
Thank you. This seems like a bit of a Buddy the Elf situation we have here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, she's buddying.
yeah. I'm sorry. I look, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum,
No.
but that sounds like something that I would not want to put in my mouth.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And I was going to go even a step further and say that you shouldn't do this around other people, right? Right?
Yeah,
I
I think
kind of
so.
keep that like a private you thing. maybe.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's reasonable for someone to scrutinize that. I think if you're seeing something is like seeing that in public, I think it's reasonable for someone to be like, "Huh?
Are you okay? Yeah. Are you doing fine?
Like,
What's going on with the stress response?
yeah, like
Because it does sound like there is some trauma wrapped up in it, and I get it. Listen, I got my own weird little food things. When I was a kid, I would just eat spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah.
Because that was the only available sugar we had. I'd just go in there and I'd just take a spoon, sugar.
See,
crunch
and
through it.
if you were in public and I saw you just take a spoonful of sugar, I would probably be like, "Hey, are you okay?"
I get it. Yeah.
Are
If
you
your
good?
Child Protective Services showing up to my house, so how we lived, you'd probably say the same thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, do what makes you happy. But if I don't want to eat pepperonis and M&Ms in the same bite.
No, I think even from a culinary standpoint, I don't think it works. If it's like white chocolate and pepperoni, I think that works. It's
Yeah.
just sweet and creamy with the pepperoni that's spicy and salty. But I think the actual chocolate with the candy coating,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
It's the candy coating that gets me. Because, yeah, there are cheeses and chocolates type things that work well together, like dessert type things. But it is the candy coating and that M&M flavor. It's such not a chocolate flavor. It's a whole different.
It's a chocolate candy flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad that you have something that you can enjoy by yourself.
Hi, my name is Melissa from St. Louis, Missouri, place of the world's greatest pizza. But my hot take is actually not about pizza.
Thank God. I
Okay.
can't get
But
canceled
my
by St. Louis
husband and I
again.
have a disagreement about whether or not you should remove the stems from mushrooms before you slice them. I tend to always take off the stems when I'm washing them and then just cut up the caps. And he says I should leave them on and slice up the entire mushroom. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Bye.
I don't know. That's interesting. I feel like that's a pretty big personal preference thing. I think it's objectively easier to slice a mushroom if it doesn't have a stem on it.
That's the only reason I'll ever destem a mushroom is if I'm lazy. Well, I've gotten pretty good at just laying it on its side and just,
Yeah.
with the stem on.
Yeah.
But what you're doing if you're removing the stem is called wasting mushrooms.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I don't think you should throw away the stems.
Yeah.
I think if you
What are you
want
doing?
to,
You're just eating straight mushroom stems?
no, I think it's fine to like chop the stems up a little bit. I guess it depends on what you're putting the mushrooms in.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fair to like, chop a stem. I will say one of my favorite ways to cook mushrooms is I like to steam them in tinfoil in the oven. So and what I'll do is I actually will remove the stems and then you place them upside down.
Steam them whole.
Yeah, steam
Oh,
them
that's
whole.
fun.
Little olive
like
oil,
that.
salt, pepper, throw some garlic and butter in that tinfoil. And then you just wrap it up and steam it. And then the mushrooms, when they release all the water that's in them, it pools up inside of the mushroom cap, and that juice is delectable.
You slurp it like an oyster?
Literally, I take a little mushroom cap and I slurp the juice out, and then you eat the mushroom. I'm not kidding. When it's so good. It's so good. Don't yuck my yum.
I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I think Socrates, right?
Okay.
He kind of came. No, sorry. Well, Plato, but Plato, was.
Yeah. Let's just take it back for a minute. Back to Socrates.
Back to Socrates. It talks about like the forms. You know what I mean? Like the essential forms. To me, the essential form of a mushroom, it's got the little, like if you were to draw a cartoon mushroom, the most mushroom-looking mushroom, right? It's got the little stem and then the cap. So when I'm slicing them, I want to see that essential form of the mushroom, and so I keep the stems on.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the Pizza Hut and you get a pizza with mushrooms on it, like the slices of the mushrooms, they got the little stem on it. That's the cartoon-ass version of a mushroom, and I think it's important, and I want that.
Yeah. I think when I will say, I think it depends on your cooking, like the way you're cooking them. Because if you saute mushrooms, you can get away. Like they're going to get, they're going to lose form.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing like a hard, like a long saute, really getting mushy, like a sauce or something, I think you can get away with not having the stems on there or having just little cut up stems separate from the top. But yeah, I don't love mushroom waste.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I will say some people, especially more beginner cooks, they tend to have this idea of, well, I don't know if you can eat that part. And I'll tell you, the only way to figure it out, chuck it on down there, see what happens. Broccoli stem, you can eat so much more of it than you think, man.
Oh yeah,
know?
I eat so much broccoli. You get a whole little on that
All the
guy.
way down. I'm going down to the nub on broccoli, dude.
Going down to the nub.
Going just straight stem deep on that broccoli. Well, Trevor, on that note, thanks for being here, man. This is fun.
Hey, thank you for having me. This was fun. I'm sad that Nicole couldn't be here, but I hope that it was okay. I hope that I was okay.
You were great.
Okay.
You were great. She's not doing great. She's I think she got food poisoning.
Oh,
Sounded
no.
really rough. She was yeah.
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, I'm so sorry, Nicole.
yeah.
I hope that you feel better by the time this episode is out.
Yeah, but everyone wish Nicole well on her bathroom journeys. All right, on that note, thank you for listening to A Hot Dog is a Sandwich. We got new audio-only episodes every Wednesday and a video version here on YouTube every Sunday. John, where can the people find you?
John, I can be found on Instagram. It's my first and last name, Trevor Everts, and then you should go check out my podcast with my fiance Raven called Yakman. It's fun. We have fun with it. So if you want to check it out, that's on my YouTube channel and on podcast platforms.
I'm gonna listen to that on my drive home today. If you want to be featured on the Opinions Like Casseroles, give us a ring. Leave a quick message at 833-DOGPOD1. And for more Mythical Kitchen, check out our other videos where we launch new episodes every week. See you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.